I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said, I hope you find one. Be a good lad, don't chase pretty and fast. I got bad written all over all of my bags. I said,
what is going on, guys? It's Adam aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we're going to be covering a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. I am down Dex. Dex is at a wedding, so I'm going to do this solo today. We'll see how it goes. Again, we'll be right back right after this.
Pretty and fast. I got bad written all over all of my bags. I said one more time. I went down.
Remember, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt.
She's twice as bad. I said, I hope you find one. Chase pretty and fast. I got bad written all over all of my bags. I said,
all right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Hopefully everyone finds their way here because, again, there's a lot of things that I don't end up having done when I'm doing this solo. We don't have the website notification. That is the work of Dex. So Dex is our website guy. Again, he is at a wedding enjoying himself, and I am super glad, and congratulations again to those who are getting married tomorrow, and congratulations to everybody, because it's 4th of July tomorrow, even though most of us cannot even blow up fireworks. Here locally, what was crazy is they put in a law in place that said that basically next year we would not have fireworks, and it was like the last year because of the, climate, changing and all this stuff. And then there was like an emergency sort of tweet by the mayor or governor or something. I haven't seen it yet. And then all of a sudden, all of these places that were selling the fireworks just shut down after the first day. One place in particular that I knew about, and I still haven't checked to see if they were part of that. They were doing their last year, and they've done it for 7 years in a row. They were a high school team that was actually fundraising for their high school team. So who knows? It's like on top of, they were doing it to fundraise so they would have gear and things for the kids. This last year, obviously, they probably didn't play football because of the CV. But next year, they might even be more screwed because guess what? They might have bought $500,000 worth of fireworks and now they can't sell it. So not only are they not going to be raising funds, they might be negative. So apparently maybe the kids will be running around without pads. I don't know. But there's a lot of situations like that. They have now pretty much affected anybody who sells fireworks that's not on the reservation. Apparently the Indian reservations are still doing it. That's what I heard. But there's nowhere to do it legally. So everybody's finding these weird little places. I've talked to all my friends, and they're all saying they're going somewhere. So wherever you're going for 4th of July, have a great time. Be safe, of course. It's going to be a really, really good time. So let's see here. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Thank you, everybody that has shown up. If you can, make sure to share this out on your social media platforms. Anybody that is a Twitter follower of mine, if you can, put this link over there and make sure to share it out. And then let's get right into the news. But first, I do want to remind you, normally you would be getting notifications from us. Again, you can sign up for our notifications at marfooglenews.com. The second we go live, that should be automatic. So a lot of this stuff, I don't know. This should have gone out, but I don't know if I did it right. So again, normally it does go out the second we go live. And then I do want to remind you, Mission America, last time I screwed up really bad. Last time they did a huge sale at EMP Shield. I don't think I went live for that period, for like about a 3-day period when they had a huge sale like this. Now they're doing the Mission America. If you've ever talked to the owners or anybody over there, they actually truly believe that everyone in the United States should have this. They are also working with agencies like DHS, DOD, and of course the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. EMP Shield, again, is handmade products that will actually protect you against an electromagnetic pulse. So I'm doing this early because I do want to remind people they are doing an additional $30 off on top of our grandfathered in $50 off. So you can combine any sale that they do with our $50 off. When you're getting multiple devices, say you have to do 2 cars and a house and a generator or a boat or an RV or a ham radio or a solar system, whatever you may be doing, again, this is probably the best time to do it. So thank you. Part of that goes to support us. And since we're grandfathered in, you guys get one heck of a deal, and it helps your favorite channel. Without affiliates, most YouTubers would not survive. Again, that's how the ecosystem works. And usually in our 2-hour show, we do about less than 10 minutes of ads and then bring you 2 hours of content with everything else. For the website, that will be updated when Dex gets back. So this show will have all of the links and the normal bibliography by the time he gets back, or he might even do it on the road. He usually does. So let's get right into the news. Space Force plans to place new early warning satellites into non-traditional orbits closer to Earth. It says the Space and Missile Systems Center is looking to medium Earth orbit for a new layer of missile detection satellites planned for 2022. I told you this when SpaceX, 3 years ago, I've been talking about this, and it was around the time where they, of course, had Elon Musk being interviewed all over the place, and all these news outlets were asking Elon Musk if he was part of the asteroid defense system. And, he talked about asteroid defense, and then all of a sudden, that went super quiet. Then it was more so SpaceX, and he started doing more launches and launching things up. Then he talked about his Mars stuff, and it blew everything out of the water. Nobody even thought about the asteroid stuff. Everybody just was like, oh yeah, we're going to Mars by this time. We're going to send up to 1 million people up to Mars. So everybody kind of forgot that he was somebody who everybody was talking about, his company doing asteroid defense. Then we learned about Starlink. Remember, this came out in the last few years. Starlink, it's going to be all these satellites, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, have been launched extremely quickly. They are pumping them out there. They're trying to get 5,000 of them or something, or whatever it is. But again, it's quite crazy that, all over the world, we've seen these lines of 60 satellites all at the same time. They are launching a grid around our Earth in just a short amount of time. I mean, we're talking about how many times have we seen 60 being launched? These are things that are floating around multiple times. I have no idea of how many hundreds. Maybe someone can look that up and put it in chat. How many hundreds of these things, or thousands, are already up there? This is going to become some sort of grid for protection, or at least that's what they say, right? Well, Starlink, I told you, I thought was some sort of grid protection system for asteroids. Then, after I said that 2 years later, they actually come out and admit and fully, you can fact check this if you want, they added sensors to certain parts of Starlink that would actually detect hypersonic obstacles and hypersonic objects. So we now see that. Again, this is all backed up. We've tried to back up everything we say with the bibliography on every show going back 3 years. And you'll see, we saw this pattern, military in our group. They told us this is not for just internet around the world. This isn't so in Zimbabwe they can access, Instagram. It's actually for a military purpose, and, of course, for a defensive purpose. It says U.S. Space Force is considering tests of next-generation overhead persistent infrared system early warning satellites in medium Earth orbit, or MEO, as early as 2022. So why so early? Again, I'll ask you to keep this in mind in the next 6 months when you see a lot more stuff come out. It says placing the satellites in these non-traditional orbits that would allow them to observe potential missile launch sites for longer periods of time than would be possible from low Earth orbit or LEO. It says, in addition, placing early warning and other missile defense satellites in MEO could ensure these services' ability to detect and track threats with a smaller number of satellites, and would be needed if a constellation was placed in LEO. At the same time, they could provide much needed increased flexibility and fidelity over their forebears that remain in geostationary orbit. So we've also seen that they keep talking about the different layers of putting stuff up there. Basically, they're running out of space in certain layers, and I assume that eventually, if they are doing what they say they're doing, they're going to have kind of highway or lanes, kind of like how our airplane system works, where you have any plane going this way is at 34,000 feet. And if you are going this way, it's kind of like one-way roads. They're at 35,000 feet. That gives them enough distance so they don't accidentally hit each other. And there's actually highways in the sky, so to speak. So I wonder if they're actually going to do that same kind of thing in space, because now there's different altitudes which they say they have to do it at. It says Breaking Defense was first to report that officials at the Space and Missile Systems Center, or SMC, had stated they could start building, quote, real flight hardware for MEO missile defense missions after contractors deliver digital models of prototype satellites in November of 2022. MEO, or fall between traditional low Earth orbits and geostationary orbits, which are farther out, in the range of about 3,100 miles to about 1,200 miles, or 12,000 miles. It says the focus on MEO shows Space Force's growing commitment to utilizing a wider range of orbits for space-based mission. What I think about this is I think that something is obviously going on above us. We don't have that confidential piece of paper that's being passed down to some of these guys, what is actually going on. But what I will say to anybody that is new is think about the last few years. Think about how they have talked. Think about all of the CEOs that have left their positions in the thousands, and we're talking about thousands of CEOs in charge of the most influential companies in the world, the companies that are so rich that they would be in the know. They talk to the presidents, they talk to these people, they talk to prime ministers, princes, and kings. And they're all leaving their stations, even if they're 24 years old and have a whole huge future of CEOing in front of them. They leave in these weird spots. They called it the Great Exodus of CEOs in 2019 and in 2020. All of these people have not taken jobs yet. There's a lot of them that we've actually kind of been following the updates, and they're all related to this whole new space endeavor. There was the creation of, I believe, if anybody can put it in chat, the space-based government that they want to actually bring up. What is that called? Can anybody put that in the chat? It's named after something that is actually in the movies. I know one of you guys will get it. We've got I'm Ray's is here. We've got Neil Perry, Pam Beth, Suzanne Person. No, not Space Force. So it is an actual group of people who are starting their own Asgardia. Thank you. I think the first one who had it was Lady Lexi. So Asgardia is a real thing. They're actually getting the paperwork and they're dotting their T's and their Q's to actually have this kind of community in space. And it's not just like regular Joes. So they do have, if you want to join Asgardia, you can go to like a website. And just like how you can, make your wife a lord or a sir or a ma'am or something and send away for a little plaque and own like a square inch of Scotland. If you do, you're technically a lord or something, right? Just like you can do that, you can send away and get a little plaque that says, I'm an Asgardian and I have a spot in Asgardia. There's that, of course, which costs money to be a part of. Anybody can register. And then there's the real elites that are actually doing congressional movements and actually filling out these paperworks to actually start a government in space. This is where their future lies. This is where they say that they will be. They say they will be in space. They'll be in low orbit. They're talking about low orbit hotels by 2027. They've already said that they've started on prefabricating the pieces for some sort of hotel ring thing in the sky that will have basketball courts, tennis courts, all sorts of stuff that basically floats and has artificial gravity. This sounds sci-fi, sounds like a Elysium or something. This is all supposedly going to happen. Do we all believe it? Who knows? Maybe there will be WW3 before then, so nobody has to kind of, really do it. Again, really crazy stuff is all going on. So they have Asgardia. They are all of a sudden, it was like a couple years ago, everywhere in the news, we were talking about Elon Musk and how Elon Musk is saying we are going to Mars. Then we started following, and he says we have to get to Mars. And all of a sudden, it was like this huge thing. And all of these countries are backing it up. All of these additional countries started going to the moon. We had going to the moon. We had all of these weird smaller countries starting space programs. In fact, as we speak, there are countries that you wouldn't even think would have internet yet are asking to be a part of this space program. Why? And then you have us basically starting these Noah's Ark type projects. If you look it up, they are not only loading pretty much every sample of kind of Earth, DNA, seeds into the mountains and into Norway and into Sweden and into these deep, dark caverns, but they're also sending samples and DNA and seeds and all this stuff to the moon, or at least supposedly they say they are. So what the hell is going on? And, you know, it's not to be the cardboard holding guy on the corner saying the end is nigh, but it obviously seems like they're preparing for something big. Then we have all of the turmoil down here on the ground. We have stuff that usually happens in third world countries happening to the United States of America. And, of course, we have two sides, or at least two sides that want to be a different kind of rich. There's oil rich, and then there's electricity rich, right? There's two different evils here at battle, and that's how I kind of look at it. NOE says, thank you, Mark, for freedom of speech here. As much as you can. Just don't come in my house and slap my mama. Let's see here. I'm Ray's, C. Walker Derwaki, Planet Deception, Texas. What's going on? Hey, let's see here. We've got Whitetail 7. Thank you for showing up. Cindy, what is going on over on D Live? And thank you, Gone Girl 777. Thank you again for your support last show. And thank you for just being around almost every show you can. And even when you don't, you come in and say hi. Thank you so much, Gone Girl. Lisa K. 23 says, happy 4th. Yes. Tell me what you guys are going to do in the comments below. In fact, if you can, comment or like if you can. I know that a lot of people are just, it's just too hard to get up to that like button. And then Heartbroken Survivor, Cats Meow, happy 4th, Foogle fam, be safe. Texas Rob 49 says, Adam doing Saturday Night Live. Exactly. Yes, I missed yesterday, and I don't like missing days, and I normally try to fill it in. I have done Monday through Friday for a long time, and if I do miss a show, it eats away at me. Out of the Woods, Gone Girl 777. Thank you so much for the Ninja Guinea over on D Live. And then Susie Cat, Shelly E, and of course Mongol Rex. Yep, their demons and clones are their Uber. Dale Val, we've got Valhalla Carter. We have up to about 2,500 watching now on YouTube. I'm guessing around under 1,000 over there on D Live. So thank you everybody that showed up. And then we have Richard Branson will beat Jeff Bezos in billionaire space race as Virgin Galactic announces he'll be on the July 11th flight. So this is another thing. Oh man. So somebody said, and there's this thing spreading around about the Sunspot Observatory shutting down. If you don't remember that, essentially about a year and a half ago, they said that there was some sort of child ring going on, and it was being based out of an observatory. In fact, specifically the Sunspot Observatory. Someone now is saying that they basically spotted some sort of huge planetary UFO feeding off of the sun. And that's why they shut it down in all of the other sun observatories. Now, do I know if that's true? No, absolutely not. But I did think that was a very interesting thing because guess what? They came in with Black Hawk helicopters. They shut down and basically scoured the entire neighborhood. Anyone that was around that observatory that person might have talked to, they cleared out. It was very, very weird, and when you were there, it wasn't just Sunspot. It was 6 other sun-related observatories that shut down, and some of them shut down for weeks. And this was before CV, before any of that. So very weird stuff. But But on a real note, why are all of these, billionaires basically stepping down for their regular jobs and focusing all of their money and energy on going to space? Do they know that something is going to happen to Earth? Is it just going to be that the degrees are going to go up to 200 degrees, or we're having an ice age, or we're having pole shift very soon, or something is headed towards the moon and is going to take the moon out and screw up the entire wobble of the Earth? Who knows? But again, why is this? This adds into all of this. It's very, very weird stuff. It says that Richard Branson is planning to beat Jeff Bezos in the billionaire space race, as Virgin Galactic announced he'll be on their July 11th flight. So it says that Bezos announced earlier this month that he and his brother would be heading to space on July 20th on Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft, which we've also covered. They immediately, after the public found out that Bezos was going to space, they actually started a change.org petition and got over 120,000 signatures to not allow Jeff Bezos back onto Earth. It was a joke, but a lot of people ended up taking it seriously. A lot of the people that signed it thought that it would actually somehow be legally binding or something, or that they would take it seriously. Obviously, they're not going to keep him out in space. Do you agree? Do you think he should stay out in space? Let me know. Put it in the comments below or put it in the chat. All right, and then let me pop open this so I can make sure that I see everybody here. And I apologize. There's some things that I have to do. I've gotten used to having Dex. It's always great having Dex. And make sure to put a D in the chat for Dex, even though he's not here. I'm sure he'll end up watching later, or maybe he's tuned in from wherever. Dorrit N, thank you, and thank you for 35R. I don't know what country. I've never seen that currency in the chat before. Where is that from? Brazil, maybe? Or I don't know. Anyways, Rio de Janeiro or something? I don't know. Thank you, Dorrit N. I appreciate that. Did a couple of super stickers there. Thank you twice. Mary Kelly Remnell, Marfoogle News. What's going on? Thank you, and thank you. And we, of course, have Silly Gurgle. Says, much love, Foogle fam. Darkcraft says, just saying hello to show some support. Thank you, David Blackwell, Stephen McMahon, and, of course, Darkcraft for being the last ones out last show. So thank you. And then let's see here. So Richard Branson is going to beat him after more than 16 years of research, engineering, and testing. Virgin Galactic stands at a vanguard of a new commercial space industry, which is set to open space to humankind and change the world for good. That was a statement from Richard Branson himself. So he's going up in just a few days, which is actually kind of creeps me out, because on Twitter, I've seen a lot of stuff about July 9th through July 15th. Of course, you had people like RFB sharing that banks were going to go down, or apparently they're doing a big update to some of the banks on the 9th. In fact, Ocean First is one of the banks that he shared. And then there was another one. I want to say it wasn't Key Bank. It was another major bank that said that their system may be down, but it's on purpose, that they're updating the banks on a Friday after a holiday, which, again, if anybody knows what that means, then you know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. Gone Girl 777 again, thank you. And then Lisa K23 says, stay safe and God bless each of us. Gone Girl, thank you for the diamond. I appreciate that. So do you think that Richard Branson is actually going to pop up there? Let me know. And then we have Surfside condo collapse. Officials planning for likely demolition of the remaining structure. So this is just an update. And again, this is actually from yesterday. We do have another kind of update on this that we'll probably put later that's timeless. But it says, as rescuers in Surfside, Florida continue to search for survivals in the rubble of the Champlain Tower South, officials have started planning for the, quote, likely demolition of the remaining structure. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said on Thursday evening. It says, quote, this is a decision we need to make extremely carefully and methodically as we consider all of the possible impacts to the pile of debris and our search and rescue operation, the mayor said. Now, one thing I want people to keep in mind is that I did find a couple instances, I asked you the other night, I asked anybody if they knew how long the longest somebody survived in a collapsed building. And somebody said 7 days, somebody said 11. The one thing that I do want people to think of is I believe people have survived over 2 weeks in some of the bigger Mexican quakes. There were some big, humongous Mexico quakes that brought down buildings, and people survived somehow for upwards of 2 weeks. So I do believe that there's a lot of the family members that have hope that they are going to find these people. But, how soon do they actually need to demolish this thing? Is it in danger to anyone else as long as they evacuate around it? Why would you not kind of treat it like you would treat it, September of 2001, right? That thing sat there for years. If this is as big of it is a big deal that this happened, you would think that they would just slowly and, go through it all and make sure that there's nobody else and everything else. They do have, as we covered yesterday, an Israeli secret military team doing 3D mapping of it. This is a very, very confidential and secretive super team that they have in there doing weird 3D mapping and satellite imaging of the actual collapse. So I wonder what is actually going on there. If they're going to demolish it, I wonder if they're worried about demolishing it right away. It says Scott Nashman, a FEMA structure specialist, and I don't say that all together for a reason, said it would likely take weeks before officials schedule the demolition. Engineers are currently looking at different methods about how to proceed to make the site safe for ongoing rescue operations. Well, if it's 2 weeks before they even get started, then yeah, I don't know. I guess they could demolish the rest and then try to get in from that side or something. I don't know. It's pretty horrible all around, and I'm praying for anybody to be found at this point. It's really, really sad. I mean, you really have to put yourself in the family's shoes here, and it's just painful all around. Vibron, thank you. And then, again, Bobby of Joy. Vibron from Australia. Thank you for watching from the Great Down Under. And then we have Boeing cargo plane makes emergency landing in ocean off of Hawaii or Honolulu coast. Both pilots rescued, FAA says. It says that a Boeing 737 cargo plane made an emergency landing off of the coast of Honolulu early Friday after pilots reported engine trouble. The Federal Aviation Administration said both pilots were rescued, though. It says, quote, the pilots had reported engine trouble and were attempting to return to Honolulu when they were forced to land the aircraft in the water. The FAA also said that according to the preliminary information, the U.S. Coast Guard rescued both crew members. The FAA National Transportation Safety Board will investigate. It said that the FAA Rhodes Express Flight 810 made the emergency landing around 2:30 a.m. local time on Friday. Information about the plane was not immediately available, but such freighter aircraft are often decades old, converted for cargo transportation after years of being used to transport passengers. The aircraft was not a 737 MAX, the plane that officials had grounded for 20 months through last November for 2 fatal crashes. So a lot of people were saying that was possibly why, but this was a completely different model of plane than the one that had all of the issues last year. Again, I should turn this off. Normally we have a number to call, but we do not tonight. It is a news-only show. I also want to remind you, if you haven't already, again, go over to empshield.com or marfooglenews.com/EMP, either one, and use that code Marfoogle. Make sure to go check this out while it's still there. Just a friendly reminder, this is our normal spot for talking about it, but if you haven't already, their Mission America sale has $30 off on top of our $50. And then we have China-India moves tens of thousands of troops to the border in the largest buildups in decade. So I really do kind of wish we had people here, or even some of my people. So I'll go over to the chat here in a second. So this is like, they said that they were all calmed down. If you have been following my show, you know that we have actually talked about a lot of the stuff that has happened on the border of India and China. If you don't know the brief history of it, they have not quite decided what their border even is. Both China and both India have claimed parts of the Himalayan mountains and these places where they're at, and the line is constantly moving. It's kind of, if you can imagine the United States and Mexico, if the border was just, literally day to day different, where, parts of Juarez were in Texas, on Tuesday, and of course parts of Texas would be in Juarez on a Wednesday. So that's what's been happening. They had a very bloody kind of outcome when they physically fought. They didn't even take pot shots at each other. They physically fought and threw each other off of cliffs in one of the deadliest encounters that they've had in decades. I think it was 4 decades, 40 years at least, when Chinese soldier threw Indian soldiers off of the mountains. So it was they were actually fist fighting, because these were unarmed soldiers, I believe, at that point, and they actually were throwing each other off. We don't know how many Chinese soldiers perished, because they didn't actually report that, but on the Indian side, they said that they lost at least 20. That was a big deal. Then it kind of calmed down. Now we have, of course, China talking about taking over Taiwan. We have Russia, of course, talking about taking over Ukraine. And then you, of course, have the NATO and the British military, the Royal Navy, is having all of these instances with Russia. The entire world, including NATO, is talking about preparing for a global conflict. We have the leader of NORCOM, Northern Command. We have the leader of CENTCOM, Central Command, also saying that they are preparing for it. We have Xi Jinping saying to prepare for a conflict. Now, even the last speech, my good friend Lloyd actually told me, he said the last speech that he watched Xi was actually in his military uniform, not his usual kind of blue tie and jacket there. He actually spoke about that and spoke about the future and how we're prepared to do anything and all of this. So a lot of people say that it is propaganda, and that they're all friends and they're all just going to, do this for news and for media. I will say this: the big show will happen at some point, and they will all be safe in their compounds and in their, of course, super yachts and in their bunkers. So it won't matter to them. And after it's all said and done, imagine WW2 if Germany had won. That's kind of that would be kind of what would be at stake right here and right now. And in a day and age where you can't say anything bad about any culture, I would say the Chinese government specifically, not the people, that is a horrible way that no one really wants to live, where you have no freedoms whatsoever. I mean, even Hong Kong, which knew they were going to be kind of treading back over to the mainland China rule, they protested in the millions. One of the biggest protests we've ever seen, because they did not want to be under the mainland China surveillance, the mainland China rule, the mainland China laws. You're talking about, you do something wrong, you wake up without organs, because that's totally okay. New Delhi, China and India have sent tens of thousands of soldiers and advanced military equipment to their disputed border, as troop deployments in the region reached their highest levels in decades. It says the People's Liberation has gradually increased its troop presence, mostly over the past few months, to at least 50,000, up from 15,000 at this time last year. According to Indian intelligence and military officials, those moves have been matched by India, which have sent tens of thousands of its own troops, advanced artillery, and the region said. It says both countries have built up infrastructure at the border in recent months, including insulated cabins and huts to keep troops stationed there through the frigid Himalayan winters. Do you see what is happening here? They're getting prepared for a conflict that no one has ever seen before. This is a country of 1.4 billion people up against a country with 1.4 billion people. This is so many different countries, the entire world, and people can still try to deny that we are about to go to conflict. It's crazy to me. We just called it, as far as Hawaii in this thumbnail. This was a show that we did 2 weeks ago now. And, of course, that the thumbnail is the blue part. And then this is a thumbnail from just a couple days ago when the Japanese official warns of Pearl Harbor surprise attack on Hawaii by Russia and China. That's because they're actually preparing for everything. Everything is actually happening. And now military members in our group have said that they 100% are on high alert right now. But are they going to tell the public that? Of course not. They've also been hacked. We had all 5 of our military branches and the Pentagon hacked. That's a fact. By who? Again, who knows? Maybe we were doing it to ourselves, or maybe bad actors have come into our government and helped us perpetrate it on ourselves. Or maybe it was Russia. Maybe it was China. Or not maybe it was China. Who knows who it is? Either way, I think people need to start waking up to the fact that this could happen. And I think a lot of people hope that it won't go nuclear, of course, because it will probably be, I hope that it wouldn't. But what if it is one of the most massive drone versus drone, then whoever's drones loses, kind of invasion style, island hopping? People wouldn't even care. If it was somewhere else, they would watch it on CNN or on the news. And they would go, oh, they've occupied Moscow or whatever. If it's somewhere else, nobody would care. But if it's on the California, I was just talking to Chance, one of our mods, and I said, what if there was a scenario where the middle of the country was the United States and the borders or the coasts were all of a sudden taken over, and we actually make new borders and we get pushed in. That's a thought that military commanders are actually planning to defend against and to prevent. What do you think? Do you think that we're never going to go to conflict? Do you think that WWs are completely over, that we'll never have another world conflict? Or do you think that we're close? I'll let you guys be the judge on that. Elsa becomes first Atlantic hurricane of 2021. It says the first hurricane of the 2021 Atlantic season is expected to maintain hurricane strength while approaching Hispaniola and Jamaica this weekend. Hurricane Elsa formed over the waters of the Atlantic Ocean early Friday, just west of the Caribbean islands of Barbados, one day after the system became the 5th named storm of 2021. It says AccuWeather forecasters, having expected the cyclone to reach hurricane force, continued monitoring Elsa and predict it will approach the United States next week after it unleashes heavy rain, strong winds, and of course stirs up dangerous seas around the Caribbean islands through this weekend. So if you are in Florida, or if you're in any of the spots that may, and eventually I believe that this will go up towards Florida or maybe even the East Coast up there, make sure that you have all of your preps. I'm sure I don't have to tell anybody that lives in Florida or the East Coast how to prepare for a hurricane. You guys have probably been around, been through it many, many times. Thank you. And Astrom says, Marv sent email with screenshots of Elon's Starlink contract regarding space government. Looks like they're planning for it. Let me read that one more time. In Astrum, Marf sent an email with a screenshot of Elon's Starlink contract regarding space government. Looks like they are planning for it. Oh, I completely believe that. In fact, in Astrum, I will make sure to check. Normally I don't check, but I'll try to check during the show. Let's see here. Thank you everybody for helping out here, and thank you for the mods. Make sure to put an M in the chat for the mods. Let's see. I will have to grab it later. You intrigued me with that. I would love to see that screenshot of the contract. Vibron 100. Thank you. Bobby of Joy. Hello and blessings, Adam and fam. Valerie Chrissy. Thank you. And I think I missed that last time. Thank you, Valerie Chrissy. Or Chrissy. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And thank you everybody that showed up today. I don't even think we had a thumbnail. In fact, chat, what was my thumbnail, or what is my current thumbnail right now? I don't even think we have one. That is pretty funny. Let's see. So, oh my gosh. Facebook tests prompts that ask user if they are worried a friend is, quote, becoming an... So, I would highly recommend referring you over to Mark Dice's video on this. It's pretty scary. Or Brian from High Impact Flicks. This is one of the craziest things I've seen, and I hope that people on both sides of the aisle actually see this for what it is. I hope I hope that everybody here does not look at this through a political light, that sees this as what it is. This is like Germany. This is scary. This is like snitching on people. Like, oh, I think this person's this and then this and this. If you have not seen history repeat itself this bad, then you need to wake up. Honestly, like I'm just I'm amazed every single day at what is happening right now. It says some FB users, and we'll call it FB, in the United States are being served a prompt that asks if they are worried that someone they know might be becoming It says others are being notified that they may have been exposed to this content. It says it is all part of a test, right? The social media company is running that stems from its redirective initiative. Why do they have initiatives? It's a website where we post our pictures and say, I ate cheddar bombs today. I had a Jaeger with my Chianti and got wasted. Okay. Oh, here's me in summer. Here's me on a floaty. Here's me at the bar. I'm so cute. Here's my dish that no one cares about. But yet they have initiatives which aims to combat violent Andy Stone, a Facebook spokesperson, told CNN screenshots of the alerts surfaced on social media Thursday. Okay, so what kind of crazy group that is going out and destroying stuff? Which one would use Facebook to organize that? Like an actual violent, like we're going to go take people out. Anybody that knows Facebook knows that they monitor every last thing that you say. So whatever group is capable of just being that dumb and using that app to organize it, yeah, maybe they are extremely dumb. It says this test is part of our larger work to assess ways to provide resources and support to people on FB that may have engaged with or may have been exposed to Republicans. Oh, I put that part in there. It says we are partnering with NGOs and academic experts in this space to hope to have more to share in the future. One of the alerts, a screen grab of which made the rounds on social media Thursday, asks users, quote, "Are you concerned that someone you know is becoming an extremist? We care about preventing on Facebook," explained that alert. According to a screen grab posted on social media, others in your situation have received confidential support. So what the hell is confidential support? They're going to actually call you because you can't get a hold of them for anything, even if you're a client, even if you're doing ads. Dex used to work for bigger companies and marketing and things like that. He said you cannot get a hold of Facebook. There's no way. Same with the Oogs. Same with the Oogles. You can't get a hold of a live person. So you're saying that there is somebody there, though, if you need to snitch. Where is this extreme stuff coming from? Where are the stats? Start asking that. And then water crisis reaches boiling point on the Oregon-California line. So they're now calling it an official crisis. It says in a barren field near the California-Oregon border and scooped up a handful of parched soil as dust devils whirled around him and birds flitted between empty irrigation pipes. Do you like how they write this too? Do you notice how this is the Associated Press? They write it like it's some sort of some sort of romance novel. Ben Kudovel knelt in a barren field near the Carolina, Oregon-California border and scooped up a handful of parched soil as dust devils whirled around him and birds flitted between empty irrigation pipes. They couldn't just say he was standing out in a field and it was super dry. I guess that would be too simple for Associated Press. Duval's family has farmed the land for 3 generations, and this summer, for the first time ever, he and hundreds of others who rely on irrigation from a depleted, federally managed lake aren't getting any water from it at all. As farmland goes fallow, Native American tribes along the 257-mile-long river that flows from the lake to the Pacific watch helplessly as fish that are inextricably from their diet and culture die in droves or fail to spawn in shallow water. So basically there's no fish, there's nothing spawning, nothing, all the water's gone. Just a few weeks into summer, a historic drought on its on-the-ground consequences are tearing communities apart in this diverse basin filled with flat vistas and sprawling alfalfa and potato fields, teeming wetlands and steep canyons of Old Fourth Gross. So basically, all of those farmers, some of them are going to go out of business. One of the other goals is to get all those farmers and all these people out of the country and into the cities. People don't believe that may be a thing. My opinion and my personal belief is that it's going to get so bad that there will be no such thing as like a family-owned farm in the future. Any family-owned farm will actually be a corporation that is like a franchise type thing, and it's under strict rules, and it's in a very specific place, and even those will probably live in some sort of neighborhood with other farmers that are part of that group. It says competition over the water from the river that snakes through it has always been intense, but this summer there is simply not enough, and the farmers, tribes, and wildlife refuges that have long competed for every drop now face a bleak and uncertain future together. Everybody depends on the water at the Klamath River for their livelihood. That's the blood that ties us all together. They want to have the opportunity to teach their kids to fish for salmon, just like I want to have the opportunity to teach my kids how to farm. Duval said of the downriver Yurok and Kuruk tribes, nobody's coming out ahead this year. Nobody's winning. So we've covered so many droughts. We have covered so many different situations. One thing that I think people should ask is, what is actually being done? Why are these, kind of programs all happening all over the place? And I think people should ask a lot more questions about some of the government programs going on right now. And then we have Yellowstone's most famous geyser could shut down with huge ramifications. It says when a band of geological surveyors and U.S. Army scouts mapped out what would become Yellowstone in 1870, the geysers and springs seemed endless, a land so unbound that Congress moved to name it the world's first national park. I actually didn't know that. It says nearly 150 years later, about 4 million people visit that park annually to see its most famous geyser, Old Faithful. It is a sight to behold, shooting tens of thousands of liters of boiling water hundreds of feet into the air about 17 times a day, like clockwork. It says, while the geyser is highly predictable, it has erupted every 45 to 125 minutes since 2000. A new climate assessment and a recent study have revealed that rising temperatures, reduced snowfall, and increased rain threaten to shut Old Faithful off completely by the end of the century. So we're talking in the next 79 years. While that could threaten the natural beauty of the park, it also means the ecosystem 3 times the size of Rhode Island, stretching 22 acres, across Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho, face a threat that no national park can protect against: rising temperatures. So this is yet another example of I shouldn't say agenda. Okay, I'll just leave it there. The land in and around Yellowstone, often called the Greater Yellowstone Area, is among the world's last intact temperature ecosystems and includes 2 national parks, 5 national forests, half a dozen tribal nations, and stunning biodiversity. It's also a super volcano that is home to 10,000 hydrothermal features, including 500 geysers, the world's greatest concentration. If temperatures at Yellowstone rise 10 degrees Fahrenheit or 5.6 Celsius by the end of the century, as they're projected to, this vast ecosystem will be disrupted. Old Faithful will almost surely shut off completely, and the snowpack that feeds rivers throughout the West may disappear. While the story of climate change is well known, what's new is the startling connection between temperature and water, a shift which threatens the extensive geyser system that makes this place so iconic. But it is not the first time this has happened. About 800 years ago, extreme heat and drought made Old Faithful come to a complete standstill for decades, a shift which changed everything from what plant species grow in the area to what the land looked like. It says looking at what happened then could be a mirror to the present, a way of looking back to look forward. Which again, this is actually a really good way of looking at what's happening right now in the world. It says academics are trying to use the park's recent past as sort of a climate roadmap, helping us to predict what might happen next. Again, this is something that is happening right as we speak. But reading that map isn't easy or clean. The geological samples studied to help predict what happens next are full of mud, pollen, and sludge, heavy, hard to reach, and buried deep under lakes. What do you think of this? Do you think that this is this is actually going to shut down? Do you think that it is manipulated? What are your thoughts on this? Let me go over again. I do want to remind you, and one more, plug here is NordVPN. If you want to protect yourself against cyber threats and support the show at the same time, I highly recommend going over to Nord. You can go and get over there by marfooglenews.com/VPN. You can actually protect yourself against cyber threats and protect yourself in public. If you use Wi-Fi at, say, a Starbucks or a Target or wherever you may be, you should protect yourself and hide your IP. Also, it can go up to 6 devices on one account. So you could do your computer, your wife's computer, your kid's computer, whichever combination you want. Again, this also works on phones, which a lot of people did not know. It's one of the easiest to use. All you have to do is turn on a switch like a light switch. All right, and then there's actually, hold on. There's a lot more that I would have added if I could have. So hold on. I do want to say thank you, Gone Girl 777 and Reading the Gospel. Cool Mom Blue says thanks, Marf, Dex, and wives. Thank you for saying thank you to the wives. The wives have been having my wife has been having a lot of problems because we're going through a lot of stress with our 8-month-old. Our 2-year-old right now is just having a really hard time. Both are having teeth come in, and it's just killer. To have 2 kids teething at the same time. I don't know how those people that are on the show that have 10 kids or 6 kids or even 3 kids, triplets at the same time. I don't know. It's an obvious thing. Like, all those shows have either a family member or somebody hired to help. You can't do that stuff alone. We don't have help, so it takes up just so much time, especially when kids are teething and going through that. Hold on here. I wanted to find something. There was a couple things that caught my eye. By the way, just a little side note, I am absolutely disgusted by TikTok. I will be putting a video out most likely this week on that. I could not believe what I saw. Let me see. I can't believe society is so uber sexualized that you have 12-year-olds doing stuff sponsored by companies, and they're doing it to the ring and the lyrics of, I'm gonna stick my in your and blah 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 and put that P on my D and all this stuff. I'm like, this is a 12-year-old sponsored by Target. FB itself, the one that we were just talking about that is saying, oh, your family may be extreme or whatever. They are sponsoring a little person who literally every single video does these like drops and talks about doing all sorts of acts that I'm just like, and you're sponsoring that person, even putting them on one of your Facebook shows. I don't understand it. And then if we speak our opinion, it's like, oh, you get deleted, buddy. All right, and then Bling on Grammy, thank you. Scooby-Doo Do Right. Nord and EMP Shield Earthing Mat Stored T-shirts. Thank you, Gone Girl. You do a donation to talk about all of our affiliates. Like, that's cool. Claire Bear, aka CFS69, missed you all. Been fighting breast cancer. I am so sorry. We have actually multiple people right now. I don't want to. Of course, you guys probably. I shouldn't probably say it because I don't know if she did come out with it publicly, but we have multiple people dealing with breast cancer right now, and it is really, really difficult, and I'm praying for you, Claire Bear. I really am. And I've had family. I've, of course, dealt with stuff personally, so I'm praying for you really hard right now. Sean Penrod, thank you so much for the diamond. I appreciate your support. And then over on YouTube, I really, 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 really appreciate Dorid N. I appreciate you. Silly Gurgle, Mary Kelly Remnell. And it looks like we actually have Tristan Early. Thank you, and thank you. Loyal to the Foil says, I wonder if only conservatives have gotten these warnings. Yeah, no, probably just their family members. That's what's funny about it. All right, we actually have another show put together. We will probably be doing that on Monday. I will probably or possibly be going live on Marfoogle Jams to do some other type stuff. But I do want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a shorter show. Again, we have updates coming, and we have our platform. Both of us were out or about, and then I had the 116-degree day, 118 actually. But we have some stuff that we should have launched a couple days ago that we'll be launching soon. We also have more Prepper Minutes coming. Please, guys, if you can, share those Prepper Minutes out for the sake of us, but also for the sake of all of those small creators. Bones has some coming out, Survival Living, all of these small channels. We need to push them up. They all need to be as successful as I or better. So let's help others grow bigger than we are, okay? I really appreciate you guys. Loving Mama, thank you. Somebody says, Robin Spiker says, your wife was telling us about it. I know, it's crazy. And it is cool that most of you are now getting to know my wife through Twitter and through chat and through everything else. You understand that she's a firecracker too. By the way, the song that I made, just in general, it's more of it's not about her, by the way, because I was thinking about when I was doing it kind of off the cuff, and it was about I felt like the beat that I made, because I just do it on the spot, was kind of that, like, 60s, like, I don't know how to explain it. You guys will listen to it. No special things tonight. We're gonna do a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for being patient with us while we have different things going on. Much love, and please say a big round of applause. Looks like we have Cynthia Lynn, no way, in the top spot for this month. Gone Girl in number 2, and of course Gone Girl again in the number 3. We actually have Gone Girl. You took 2 different spots. That's hilarious. Thank you, everybody over on DLive that helped support today's show. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you on YouTube to many. Gone Girl says, I love you all. Stay safe. Happy 4th. Gone Girl in the number 1 spot today. Lisa K in the number 2 spot. Thank you so much. L Luna 3377. I appreciate you all. I want you guys to have a wonderful night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.
Bottom of the barrel, and I got me one of them damn scarecrows. And I tell you what, she is the best one I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said, I hope you find one. Be a good lad, don't chase pretty and fast. Bad written all over all of my bags. I said, one more time. I went down to the bottom of the barrel, and I got me one of them damn scarecrows. And I tell you what, she is the best one I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said, I hope you find one. Be a good lad, don't chase pretty and fast. So let's go down and let's have fun. I just wanna walk down to the beach and run. I said, I just wanna love you until the end of the night, and I will say, I love you. I said, I love you, and I know you do too. So let's go down and let's have fun. I just wanna walk down to the beach and run.
Jerry Forcum, thank you for subscribing. Terry Tamlach, Batman has subscribed. Nathaniel Schofield, Jess Sadillo, and Rita Young. James Mahoyo, Spencer Levy, Rhonda Kennington. It sounds like it's Saturday Night Live. I said there I go and got that taxi driver for tonight. Got the pan bed, everybody knows it. I've been seen and a legend already. I'm gonna go fly like a Cinderella. Hey, I say, oh Lisa, oh ha, that daggy guy and the rest, he's a ball. I've gotta go loving, and I love you too, ma. I said, oh Miss Jammer one, and then Doug, oh I said, bye, bye, bye.
savvy, or down on a bender and to get that 11 in the red October. Bring it down and love you all over. And the engine look rolls, and I'm gonna get closer. I'm gonna be down. Yes, Terrica, we are very close. So you make no mistake, I know. I say the lady legs you right, been all over, but I've never seen it fight. And the Susie Q and the Gone Girl too. I say the love you. Oh! All right, let's do this one for Gone Girl 777. Teresa, Porterilla, and the Sang. I'll bring it with a million hearts, stealthy. I bring down healthy, I'm the high. Maitland, Bear Claws, and the Bay. Maui racing, realtor. I'm maybe Mamer, maybe Day. I going back a shady day. Sunny, windy, all the way. And Andrew, yo, what an air. I said, ho, 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 ho. That's pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said, I hope you find one. Don't chase pretty and fast. I got bad written all over all of my bags. I said one more time. I went down to the bottom of the barrel and I got me one of them damn scarecrows. And I tell you what, she is the best one I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said I hope you find one. Lisa or Hall and a J Farm too. I got the amazing radiant realtor and Candy Crowder too. I said a Raquel I said I don't wanna go any farther. And I've got the saucy sorrel to prove all the water. And I jotted down, and you know that I've got Linda Moses as well. I said the truth must be. I told her whether you know it all night. Got that island by the sea, going Brett Hines and I love all the way B. I said one more time, everybody loves that way we do. The Marfoogle, Bobby Oogle, I'ma bring it back a boogle. How I play all the bugle. Scarecrows, and I tell you what, she is the best one I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I said I hope you find one. Be a good lad, don't chase pretty and fast. I got bad written all over all of my bags. I said one more time. I went down to the bottom of the barrel and I got me one of them scarecrows. And I tell you what, she is the best one I've ever had. She's a half as pretty, but she's twice as bad. I bring it back and running. Now I bring him dinner on the platter. I coming back and go running like a never matter. Going right back and running. Everybody get it. I'm a battle. we just living or die. Going back up and down. What? If you said on the sheep on the back, now the truth must be out where the you know it or not. Like a holly gonna go stop when the item by the sea and the city gonna buy the I have it calling everybody knows it. The Marfoogle website, all shows. Eggs are goodies in the new hot for TV news, but you gotta check it out on the money too. District that invisible juice. Side bring it back, take the rob, who it'll do. When the text is by in the big in the fire, and the piece in the R in the sandy bar, and the brick with the Mar in the Maurice. The truth everybody see. That I coming back, go running like I never met. I go my radar back and running, everybody get it, I'm a battle. I ain't in picture, I ain't my batter. Damn Tina, I might even buy you dinner. Maybe a steak and maybe a dinner. I ain't no cheap prick, principles gonna I bring it back and running. Now I'm bringing dinner on the platter. I coming back, go running like I never met. I go my radar back and running, everybody get it, I'm a battle. Got it, not it, see. I have illusions on the city, on the pretty, and oh, it looks all great in high. Terry, Kyle, and the best if I. That's a gig out in the bigger one, the power in the holiday kiss. All with the casino, wow. With the Suzanne percent, bring it back down, everybody get inversion. Oh no, with the moon face. Jenny, for Chandler. He hot. I gotta bring it down and I'll bring it on sun up in the moon now. Dory on the M with the Jesse on the set, the London, Dina Schofield, and the Bobby, Joy Van Braun, and the James Mahio, and the Hill Smith, the Elmer, and the Jeff Over, Sunbound. Right back around and everybody get it, I'm a. I ain't in picture, I ain't my batter. Damn Tina, I might even buy you dinner. I ain't no cheap prick, principles gonna. Kenny on the cutter, that juggy go in the mic quite well. More bring it down, star. In the band, I'm about the bar. Oh. Walking down the street like a G.I. Joe. You know that man has some flow. Walking down the street like a G.I. Joe. Walking down the street like a G.I. Joe.
Marfoogle Network. side, east side, real hard, waiting on the tip side, being out on the east side, on the east side, on the east side.
I got the island on the cover with the Yoda, you know the Desire, with the Soya and the Quackaholic and the Wesley. I'm gonna bring it back down like a Leslie on the dog W on the 99. Gonna bring it back down on the time. Gonna bring it back now when we find on the 1RB, 1RB and the RMG. I got that B with the big Cindy. I got the Frank Rio on the CIO. I got the CIO on the CFO. I got the Metador meditation. Now I bring back down with the stranger cloud. Head now back with the witness now. And the Angela Ross and the big old brown. And the old now smile on the inside brown. I got to do that now. Guacaholic down. I got the boat now. God is good. I got the island by the sea and the Genie F10 on the banana. Like a big bag, like a big dana. I go roaming like a wolf on the grammars on the whatnot. With the Sandra in Texas. Oh, now there be no exit. Gonna go back check on. I said, oh, Travis Weaver gonna make you down. I got the love, I got love for you, Mr. Bucket up or steal. I'll bring it back now for the Arizona river, and that's it up here. I said, the logic, let go. And that guy, I gotta bring back down on the end from sky. I gotta go. What did you try? Oh, 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 oh. No flipping way. Gone Girl 777 has Marfoogle stickers on her trike, car, and mailbox. I've got the three hookers, I on the local, on the I chick with the local grow guy. Ben Wilson with the When Wilson. When will we go and see that sun? Witness on the big on the night bomb. Spend it with the heavens called done. A Priscilla art, I go so far. Marry real late, or is it real dark? A Serenity PA. Serenity PA. A. Short kids at the Fugo fam couch dancing. Oh, I love that idea. Need short kids at the family couch dancing. Need short kids at the family couch dancing. Need short kids at the family couch dancing. Need short kids at the family. Family on the couch dancing. 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 chill out rush, never pitch one another. Pickled on the cool, on the tree hooker. Bring it back down, Julia, such a looker. Playing on the red, good night, y'all. Bring it back, MTV up on y'all. With the MTC and the MTV. Half that down, the rest of the beat. Got the red down, gotta bring it back down. I pull down with the show champ down. What the fuck show, with the push on down. Don't go looking with the bishop bow. I love you.
I said I was walking down the street. I did Lord on the tent on the seat me. Jam a wine ice, jam on the fight eye. Wanna bring it down on the beach now. Oh. I've got it going down on the 100-day guitar. My background never on the missile. Too loud, gonna go turn it down, his oh no, go back down on the his Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. Marfoogle news and I'm gonna roll it back now. I just wanna fly 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 now. I sit on the bell car, ring with the part, and I ain't a god. So I got that yodel like a yoda. Oh, go back, drink a soda. So me 7 when was the all are you late to? And from the ink in the INC, in start room, I beat up beat. Quackaholic and a gun girl, Chippy 7. 1RP, Lisa K23. In storm, everybody knows MTC. Go back, Susan with the wheel. Lisa, I got that bring it down, chica. Booting down, no, what's up, chica? Buddha. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the chest, guys. That's something I normally get to give to my buddy. Hold up, yeah. Let's check it out, going back down. Gonna bring you back, always on the chest now. If you wanna get in on it, go now. Oh, head over to the D live now. Hey, hey, hey. Let me bring it on in love, I'm gonna go down and show you. Oh, yo. Ah. Where is my sound? I coulda go back down, everybody boom. Where's that sound? Oh yeah, that's right. I don't got the dang thing plugged in. This is why. Okay. There we go. There we go. Lisa cat on the D da da da. 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 Lisa cat on the D da da da.
I was carrying on the bye bye.
Lisa cat on the D da da da. Lisa cat on the D da da da. No, that was an experiment, wasn't it? I see. Pop in the chest in 30 seconds. Thank you, everybody over on the YouTubes. Thank you. Love you. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marfa.